So you feel like you're doing all the right things in SEO, but when you look at your traffic graph, it's just flat. Well, you're definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the real reason your hard work isn't paying off, and we're going to completely change how you think about getting results. I bet this feels familiar, right? You've spent hours, maybe days, using a tool like SurferSEO or Clearscope. You know the ones. You're chasing that perfect 100 content score, checking every box, cramming in every last keyword, and then you go check your analytics, and nothing. Just crickets. That flat line staring back at you. It is one of the most frustrating feelings out there, and it's a huge red flag that something fundamental is missing from your process. And let me just say this loud and clear. This is not about how hard you're working. Your effort isn't the problem here. The real issue is where we've all been taught to focus our energy. We've gotten completely obsessed with perfecting that last 10% of the process, the on-page optimization, while pretty much ignoring the 90% that actually matters. This slide just nails it. Your optimization tool is amazing at telling you how to improve a post that already exists. But it gives you zero, and I mean zero guidance on what content you should be creating in the first place. It's kind of like having a world-class Formula One mechanic to tune your engine, but you don't have a map or even a destination. You're just sitting in the garage. Now, to be fair, these tools are brilliant at their specific job. Content optimization is a super important final step. It really is. It's all about taking a great article and giving it that final polish. Tweaking the keywords, the structure, the length, all to give it the best possible shot at ranking. But the key phrase there is final step. And that's where their usefulness ends. As you can see here, these tools are specialists. They're actually pretty weak when it comes to planning out your content. They have no real features for building a strategy, and they don't really fit into a larger workflow, which is exactly why trying to scale your content feels absolutely impossible. You just end up with this random collection of perfectly polished articles that don't connect to anything. Okay, so this brings us to the big question, right? If obsessively optimizing every single post isn't the key to growth, then what have we all been missing? What's the secret sauce that turns all that hard work into an actual, predictable growth engine? Well, here's the answer. It's moving from a single tactic to a full-blown workflow. Just look at this slide. For too long, we've been starting and ending our work at step 3, execution. But the real sustainable growth, that comes from starting at the beginning. Step 1 is strategy. That's where you identify entire topic clusters that prove your expertise. Then you move to step 2, planning, where you build an actual content roadmap. See, optimization is the last thing you do, not the first and only thing. All right, so let's look at the world of SEO tools through this new lens. Instead of just thinking about a laundry list of features, let's see where they actually fall on a spectrum, all the way from a simple tactic to a complete system. This table really says it all. Take a look at that first column for optimization tools. Sure, they're strong on optimization, we know that, but go down to content planning, weak, and strategy building, it's not even there. Now compare that to the full workflow systems on the far right. They are built for strategy from the ground up. This, right here, is the fundamental difference between stagnation and growth. And if the table didn't make it obvious, this bar chart basically screams it. You can see this massive gap in what these tools can do for strategy and planning. Relying only on an optimization tool is like trying to win a chess match by only moving your pawns. The full workflow systems, though, they're designed to see the entire board and plan 5 moves ahead. This quote from the source material just gets right to the heart of it. Wasted efforts. That's the flat traffic graph. That's all that frustration. It's that feeling of just spinning your wheels. Every single hour you spend optimizing a piece of content that wasn't tied to a larger strategy is, unfortunately, an hour wasted. Which brings us to the most important, and maybe the most painful number in this whole explainer. How much traffic growth do you get when you perfectly optimize the wrong piece of content? The answer is a big, round 0. A perfect score on the wrong assignment is still a fail. It does absolutely nothing for your business.
And this, my friends, is the realization that changes everything. Those flatlining graphs, they weren't a sign that you failed at SEO. They were a sign that your process failed you. Growth doesn't come from a higher optimization score. It comes from a smarter, more deliberate strategy.
Just let that sink in for a second. Your SEO isn't broken. Your strategy is. You already know how to write. You know how to optimize. The thing that's been missing is that strategic layer that connects all your hard work to your actual business goals. The tool was never the problem. It was how you were told to use it.
So here it is, the big takeaway. Stop just optimizing. Start strategizing. Before you write a single word, before you even think about opening your optimization tool, you have to ask why. Why are we writing about this topic? Why now? How does it fit into the bigger picture? Answering that question is what turns random acts of content into a predictable engine for real growth.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. For the very next piece of content you create, what is the one strategic question you absolutely have to answer to guarantee it's not just another perfectly optimized article that goes nowhere? Because answering that, that's your first real step to turning that flat line into a beautiful growth curve.